belongs.
There we go. There we go. Alright, 4 onks left. Mental Gen.
We're waiting on 4th. You have a really long laser though. That's cool.
Yeah. Also, apologize if my request was rude.
No, you're fine.
Okay. We forgive you.
There's the sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Remember when we had 0 onks?
I could talk for about Oxygen Included for a long time.
Oh, well, I mean that's not gonna. It's gonna be a fleeting memory because that 0 is gonna return real quick.
Yeah, probably. I don't even know where we're going. I think we go.
Oh God, no! Don't start! Don't start dying already! Don't come back! Come back! Come back! Come back!
He's just getting peppered. Holy shit!
What are you doing?
Alright, I heal on my own. I'm like, watch my hit points go up.
No! Don't. This is how Hammerwatch gets you. Alright. Didn't you guys find like an exit or something last time we were here?
Oh God damn it! This shit again.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think so. We need a gold key to open the door on this level. So I'm trying to look at the map and also not die to this grid at the same time. It's probably a bad move.
Maybe a shit. Give me your magic green juice.
I'm working on it.
Thank you. Maybe
That's the way the key already got.
maybe Oxygen Not Included can be your next words for your ears.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I think it's really enjoyable.
I'll get it on sale. I did not know that you could pause it, so that would make my life easier.
Yeah, it's very much like any kind of Sims game where you just pause and give people orders, whatnot.
Where the hell are we going?
I don't know.
I'm fully dependent on Jonah for all my decision making here.
That's perfect.
I mean, I don't know. There's some stairs to the right here. I just kind of figure we could start there, maybe.
Think for me.
Oh, he's died. What the hell?
See, Jonah wouldn't have done that.
Welcome back to the game. Yeah, no, spikes kill you.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Doesn't he come back if we get on one of those little checkpoints?
He immediately comes back since the Ankh was spent. And if you take a look at his HP pile, he's back.
Oh God, shit! What are you doing? Stop dying! Stop it! Stop it! What's happening?
Oh no!
How did I die?
How did
There was nothing there.
That's the game.
2 unks! 2 unks! 1 unk!
Well, we can always just like
standing there doing nothing.
We could just reload too.
No, that's not Hammerwatch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been.
Losing is fun.
I'm gonna go tag a different checkpoint so it'll spawn somewhere else.
There's one right
I'm
next
past
to
the
it.
thing already. It's annoying. I was in the middle of this blank area.
Oh,
like 20 hit points, and I just died. It was just like, fuck you, you don't get to live.
Yeah, no worries. You actually went the completely different direction than the rest of us, so.
Well, there's a guy here. I'm killing him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's enough reason for me to go back that way. Yeah.
No. Ah!
There's spikes that I can't get past, but I think
1 unk! Shit!
I killed the guys on the other side of this spike thing, but there's no spike. There's no way to get past this.
Right.
Now.
Right. Yeah, because you have to switch somewhere else.
Wait, where'd you guys go?
I don't know. Let's just trying to get back to where Randall was. So.
All right, I see them.
All right.
Oh, there you guys go. Oh, thank Christ.
I know, right?
Praise be.
Got a moonwalk.
Oh, come on! He both died.
0 unks!
Nice. Oh, and I tagged that checkpoint back there too. So. That's great.
Alright. Alright, now we start the game over. Here we go.
Oh God, he's his elf.
No, he did that on purpose.
100% did that on purpose.
Alright, cool.
'Cause-
Did you do that on purpose?
We can just reload it if we want. I don't. It's whatever.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's been vetoed.
Nope. This is Hammerwatch.
Oh wait. Oh
Alright.
God, the troll's
Alright.
dead too.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
You've judged us. You've judged us, Joel, and you and I have both been judged incompetent, probably fairly.
I think we should just go to the teleporter.
I'm gonna blame you somehow.
It's my 100%. I will accept the blame.
Well, there we go.
Although they both
Game over.
seven spikes.
See, the thing is, like, I saw Jonah die, and that caused me to pause. Which for the spikes to come up and kill me.
Right.
Well, I leveled poorly this time anyway, so it's
So good.
the drain spell for the priest is fucking terrible.
Yeah. Alright, yeah. Alright, you can rejoin here, I think. Cool. Nope. So wacky fact, right? We can't reload that save. The save got overwrit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it
No
works.
saves coming.
Yep. Guess what we get to do?
Yeah.
Over because it's Hammerwatch.
Start over.
Oh man, I need to build my Firefly build. And everybody playing way too much Division 2.
Yep. Alright, so now that we've gotten that far, do we want to just play again with no changes, or do we want to add any crutches to the game?
What are the crutches? Oh wait, you don't get the achievos. Look at those. We've got only 5% of players were able to defeat Dune Sharks without crutches. It says we are in the 5%, gentlemen.
All right.
I don't want to join the unwashed masses.
I'm fine losing constantly until we beat this. That's fine. Whatever you want to do.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
It does not bother me. Bothers you, like, that's fine. I will accept it.
You
I'm a sorcerer.
could play on easier instead of hard. Or, I mean,
Were we
medium.
playing on hard?
No, we're playing on
Alright,
medium.
Yeah, I don't know if it matters because things will one-shot you no matter what, right?
Yeah.
The difficulty is a red herring in this game.
It's an illusion.
It doesn't take away the one-hit kills. Alright, ready up.
Alright, I think I'm go.
Double wizards, paladin, priest. Seems okay.
Oh, there's a ranger. Alright, we'll go with ranger this time. It's so long as I don't have to get in its face.
Right.
Alright,
I hated the thief. Like, I loathe the thief. So.
Yeah, Thief is hard mode. You like playing Paladin, except you can't heal yourself, and you can't auto-attack as quickly.
No, it's fucking terrible. It's awful.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely got some advantages, but you have to get used to the game.
Not significant advantages. I'm gonna get this coin before Joel gets it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I think I
The only reason I know where this coin is because I watched the video on YouTube, and now I know where to go to get it. Boom! Got it.
You got it.
Yay.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I had no idea where that was, and then I watched the video, and Joan was like, I watched him walk to it. I was like, all right, now I know. Now I know. There's a thing.
It's like everything's new, man.
It's like,
Hey, look, we got 4 rocks back.
Oh wow! Wait,
we're to get 17 and then lose.
Yeah.
Seven, and lose 14
Why you
of
gotta
them.
be so goddamn negative? I think it's your negativity that killed us all
It's
last time. We died of
clearly.
negativity.
Clearly. But this guy's sleeping, so
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna throw knives at him. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. See, man.
you're a thief. If you were a thief,
what we lack
beat
in
it.
levels, man, we make up in like experience.
We need a thief. The thief needs to be Joel.
It's funny.
What the hell does a thief even bring to the table?
Nothing.
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 Charisma, baby.
Negative gold.
But the paladin.
Negative gold.
Hey, the paladin's gonna raise charisma too. I believe
Yeah,
it's on
for sure.
D&D.
From here on out, I'm gonna suggest that we take turns so that the listeners don't get completely driven crazy.
Take turns doing what now?
Oh, like not talk over each other constantly.
Oh, sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. How do you want to do that?
Randall.
I don't agree to that.
All right.
I'm telling you that. So.
No, it's cool. It's just like let's just all try to be mindful. That's all.
Sure.
All right. Gold. We will be talking less as we start concentrating on the game more.
I mean,
sure.
That's accurate.
Man, these arrows go
need
for a
this
long time.
bugs to die. All right, here we go.
All right.
Gonna get some gold here. Or are those copper pieces? I don't know.
It all spins the same.
You know what? You're right.
Of course I am.
Maybe they're Electrum.
Like anyone uses Electrum.
Only old school DN players or whatever. D&D.
It's actually it's making a comeback in 5e, baby.
And of course, because 5e's modus operandi is like, is it old? Put it in.
You're not fucking wrong.
Oh, Trent, are you still running 5e campaigns?
Correct.
Yeah, how's that going?
Good. Now that I have a good group.
Oh,
Ooh.
all right.
Better. It's
Was it
better.
full of cat girls last time?
5e's better now than it was in the beta. Like when the playtesting, I was part of the playtesting group, and it was horrible.
Yeah. 5e next was a joke.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're a paladin. You can never learn how to ride a horse. Or barbarian. You never. You can. It's just not. We have like set paths for you.
Yeah, Lamau. Yeah, 5e is, but no, I had just problematic whiny players.
Oh yeah,
It
right.
just wasn't fun either. Like they really put you on rails. Like it was really.
Well, that being said, all right. As far as are you
You're more shit talking about your group.
Are you referring more to like the modules being railroady?
Like the leveling path was super railroading. Like,
Well. Here's the thing. 5e is pretty straightforward as far as progression is concerned. The only like
now it is. Like they finally take the feedback, but like the first like 17 incarnations of 5e, like I was in the test group, like for like the beta test group, like I guess you call it, and it was like
oh shit,
I gotta watch my health.
Oh, it's a monster spawner. Okay.
It was very much like so. For instance, like
Oh,
I joke about the the horse thing, but really, like you're a barbarian, like you could never learn how to ride a horse. Like you could never get the animal handling skill because
weird.
barbarians just like don't understand what horses are apparently. Like, I don't, like it's just like okay, like and yeah, it's silly, but it's also like really like very much like. Can't build the character you want,
right?
Because let's face it, because like animal handling is not particularly useful in most D&D campaigns. Like,
it's very.
It isn't like most DMs will not. What the hell? Why did I die?
Those things shred you.
Any case, what the hell? I'm so far back now. But like, I was just talking. And I just
not
but like any case, like I don't know, like I get the fact that players are gonna min-max, right? That's just a thing that happens. People are gonna find out what the quote unquote best skill is, and they're gonna do the most amount of damage or whatnot, and they're gonna do that thing. And I don't think as a game dev company you should base your and they got to this point eventually, but you should base your your baseline is where the vendor coin missed. Cool. Is those players are going to like throw out all of the RP and just be like, I'm gonna do 8,300 damage around, because really, yeah, you can put those things in and people can exploit those, but that's not
spirit of the game.
Your market.
Well,
it's not your market, right? Like,
yeah. It's never been the place of the game itself to be balanced. It's like it's up to the DM. You have a literal player who's a referee for the party. Like trying to control for that is kind of nonsense.
For sure.
But I was also part of the test group for 5e, and I said it felt like a Frankenstein monster. And then they're like, "Can we get you in the game more so that we can like get more feedback from you?" I'm like, "Unfortunately, no."
Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible. It was really terrible. And I sent a bunch of feedback, and every incarnation of the game took none of my feedback. The eventual, where it ended was, you know, incorporate a lot of the things I had to say, but not everything, but there was no response.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like
the aura in.
Armor, I did it already.
All right, yeah, that's what I want because I've got the health regen is super important for me.
I think I broke all the controls in my game by pressing the Logitech button. Cool.
But yeah, 5e's come a long way from its playtest.
Yeah, it's different. It's different from Next for sure, 100% for sure. I would agree with that.
Finally.
Is it like significantly different from every other incarnation to get into the game? No, it really isn't. But
yeah, it has some holdovers from 3rd edition and 4e.
There's still quote unquote a optimal path for any class in the game.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think they try to get away from for a while, but it just there is. It's like if your goal is to do as much damage as possible,
right?
But I thought they were breaking away from the gamist version because they figured that's what people hated about 4E. Well, so they were like, "We're going full narrative, baby."
I don't think they thought of. I think they felt like that people didn't care about the
the thing they did not like about 4E, outside of it being a more focused on like tactical combat.
It's a board game.
Tactical combat was they completely leveled out and balanced casters and marshals. And to the point where people could argue that the classes felt samey.
Oh yeah, right. That's a common complaint.
I wouldn't say they felt samey. Like I think that casters were still inherently more stronger than marshals. Not to the point of say 2nd edition where the casters did nothing for the first 9 levels of the game, and then they all of a sudden were gods.
Right.
I enjoyed 4E as my favorite system. I just wish the battles didn't take an hour.
Correct. Which they addressed after the fact.
I think you had to have a. So the thing with 4E is you really had to have a DM that would think outside of the box. So they would allow you to do things with the skills that are not strictly
I would say Joel got really in depth with that and pulled out so many different parts.
That's because I designed my encounters like puzzles.
Right. Which is
I'm straight up this is a game and this is. To me, there's 2 modes. There's narrative mode where your fireball can do whatever, and then there's okay, we're now playing the game kind of mode. So I pay attention to more how it mechanically moves guys around.
Right.
If we're in narrative mode, I'm not going to pay attention to okay, the guy moves 3 squares. But if we're in mechanical mode, we're just going to say oh yeah, he gets blown away or whatever. Where did you want him to blow? Sure, he gets blown right off the cliff. Sure. When we're in mechanical, battle time, then I'm okay, we're gonna count the number of squares now. 1, 2, 3, great. Now he gets blown off the cliff. But when I design encounters, I always thought about how things move around. I saw them as kind of puzzle piece slots, almost like a Tetris grid. I'm okay, this guy occupies these spots at this time, and when he's in these squares, he's going to be putting out threat to this area of the board, and so the players have to eliminate this guy so that this area of the board is cleared. And then I think one of my favorites was I had a bad guy that could swallow players and put them on their own little mini board.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was a big hit. But it's like stuff like that where I felt like it made the rules for 4E made for fun gamist kind of stuff.
I would agree. I think 5E's combat system was the best. Like,
it was. 5E, 4E had the best base encounter design in the system, throughout all the systems. You could,
but however, like it didn't really allow for what Joel was talking about, like the narrative mode. And you had to have a DM that understood.
Oh, well,
there is narrative mode. Like there is a time where you can use your ability to cast frost spells to make ice or whatever. That's the thing. And
hey, Randall, let's I want to hear from Trent for a second.
Well, it's fine. The thing is, 4E had very, like Joel was pointing out, 4E had two distinct modes: narrative and combat mode. Some powers didn't really work out so hot in narrative mode as they were built specifically for combat mode. But 4E introduced rituals, which 5E has since incorporated into its own design.
So the rituals are from 4th edition, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so they're the big narrative mode spells.
Yeah.
Correct.
But they're so long. They were so long that nobody really is going to use it. I cast 3 days to do this thing that I may or may not succeed on. That's you gotta have a DM that understood that's not fun.
Well, yeah, but I mean the flip side of that is that you either have to have some sort of rules for using combat spells or cantrips in a way that is a narrative purpose. Otherwise, you're just spending spell slots on non-combat related spells, and D&D is about combat. You can't really take that away from the game.
No, it's one of the primary pillars of play.
Yeah, right. Since the beginning, since Chainmail, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, you have got this weird thing. How do you give players the ability to do ritual or spell-like effects outside of combat, but then not punish them for it?
I mean, if they want to use a spell slot to do something fun, and then have it be a solution to a unique solution to a puzzle, and then leave them without a spell slot later, I think that's fine. That's great. I think that's good design. But it's really hard to code for the rules for that, right?
Well, no. So I agree that those moments are great, but then you have to think about the game never doing any favors to anyone, making those moments happen, right? Why don't you have combat spells and non-combat spells and have different kinds of spell slots for that, right? That's a simple fix, right? If you want to encourage that kind of gameplay. But the thing is that so long spell slots always include combat spells as an option, then you have to find some pressure release so that people can use them outside of combat. Beyond just having characters willing to take non-combat abilities as spell slots, it's the game's actively going to punish you for it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where the dungeon master has to come in and say okay, well, I'll let you do this thing, right? Even though it's outside of the scope.
Yeah, sure. That's always a house rule of D&D. The weird thing about D&D is that everything is a house rule, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think it's a sign. I think it's a sign of a good group and a good game master understands what they want to accomplish, right? Because it's not always the same.
Oh, for sure. What they want out of the game, what their players want out of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Because some people just want to fight things. They wanna just do combat rolls all the time. Trent, come here. Come back out.
Sure.
I don't want a mana, so we're gonna have to do this piecemeal. But you're.
All right.
So I think that's actually one of the great rules of any good D&D game is that listen up, listener. Is that before you have the first session, all the players need to talk about what they expect out of the game. And
session 0.
Yeah, and so not having session 0 is sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And most often, I guess it works more than it doesn't. But then people really need to think about that because I've had multiple groups fall apart because of different expectations.
For sure.
Well, I think that more groups actually people don't have fun, then have fun. Because of that, and it's what the hell? All right,
this guy hurt.
I died.
Yeah, this guy is his bullet hell is pretty brutal. It's got all right. Then you go in.
By the way, I played Risk of Rain 2 for the first time since it released yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. I don't know that I like it, but it's different.
It's different.
It's busier than it was when it first came out.
I've never played the original Risk of Rain, so I only have the second one to go off of.
I like the original, but have not played the second.
They're different. They're 100%. They're different games. They're different. They're still in early access, but they're 100% different games.
Oh my gosh!
Like, they're not even close. Like it's.
Yeah, I have such bad memories of Risk of Rain 1 that it actually kept me from wanting to buy the second game.
It was gifted to me, so I can't really say one or the other. But like,
bad memories is then it wasn't fun to play, or it's like bad memories like Hammerwatch where it just pounded you in the face every once in a while.
No, it's bad memories because I don't believe Risk of Rain 1 is actually a roguelike. Like for me, like you have to be able to learn from the game and show mastery of it. Whereas in the game, Risk of Rain 1 just throws so many enemies on the screen. There's nothing you can do to learn about it. Right, like, and all the items in the game are so homogenous that, like, they have so little description, and you can't really check on them. You're just kind of like picking up stuff and never knowing what's going on or why you should want certain things. And then, like, eventually, when you do get into the thick of it, you can't learn from individual monster attacks or anything. So, anyhow,
I would say that 2 is better. It's better at that, like, just strictly because it's So, for instance, in Risk of Rain 1, like, you would just get items, right? And you would they would work for you or they wouldn't. Like, it's just one of those things. Whereas, like, so a thing that gives items in Risk of Rain 2 is, like, there'll be a stage that has 4 different things. Like, 1 thing you may know what it is, 2 things, like, 3 things you know what they are, and then 1, like, random thing if none of those appeal to you. You would pay your coins to do the thing, right? Whereas Risk of Rain 1 is just like you just found things and hope you got the stuff you wanted to build your character. And this is much more like there are decisions like, do I want to spend my coins on this thing? It is also chaotic and there's a lot of monsters, and much like the first one. In the sense there's just like constantly things just thrown at you, monsters on the screen. So there's both of those things, but you do get a lot of choice in terms of like, do I want to save my coins and not pick up this thing that's not ideal, and find something else, or
I mean, is the base concept the same? Where it's like, okay, here's a stage, fight through the stage. We're gonna send a flood of monsters at you, and you get like a random relic.
The way Risk of Rain works, Risk of Rain 2 works, is that there's like a level, and it's all like third-person shooter instead of like side scrolling.
2D,
yeah. But essentially, like you find a teleporter, and you activate it when you want to activate it, and then there's a boss monster. Meanwhile, there's things constantly kind of just spawning everywhere. And there's and whenever you kill something, you get coins, right? So you're always trying to like judge like when do I want to kill stuff versus like when do I want to just like summon the end boss and go to the next thing, because also the difficulty increases as you it's just time goes by.
So every minute or something, it ramps up the difficulty. Something like that.
Yeah. You know, no.
Similar to the first game, right?
Right. So.
Yeah. So like the thing that I think was most interesting about the idea of Risk of Rain 2 is the fact that there's another third dimension. So that like, because I feel like a lot of the readability issues might be fixed by that, but I'm concerned by the concept that apparently there's just a lot more stuff going on in Risk of Rain 2.
It is, and there's, I don't know that I necessarily like it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it's something that
Oh, sorry.
If you want to play, but like it's like it was purchased for me, but like I don't know that I dislike it either. It's like
give me an idea of what the combat pace is like. Is it like Overwatch, Doom?
It's chaotic. No, it's chaotic. It's 100% chaotic. It's like there's a lot of stuff happening all the time.
It's a first-person shooter, right?
Third person.
Over the shoulder?
Yeah, because you can see the character in front of you, right? So it's
okay. All right. So it's like The Division.
I mean, it's not a cover shooter, but yeah.
Hmm.
So would you say it's like a thinky game, or is it just fast-paced, move on your...
It's very fast-paced.
Yeah,
it's
so
very fast-paced.
So a twitch shooter.
I mean, it can be thinky.
But it's predominantly not.
It's predominantly like shoot a bunch of things that do different things. You know, like I see this kind of enemy, like it does this kind of thing typically, so I'm gonna like, when it does its smash, I'm gonna like roll it to the side or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So notice our health totals are kind of lowish. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, my mana's at 5. I'm doing my best.
No, that's not the comment I was making. Sorry.
No. I'm blaming Trent. Actually, straight up. Healer, you know, you're beautiful. You're a beautiful person.
I would not be offended if you otherwise. It's fine.
I don't care if you're offended or not. Speak my mind.
I vote we pick the armor upgrade for our second ore. Or third ore? Yeah, third ore.
Alright. Yoink. Bonk. That's right. Get behind the thingy. That's where it is. That's where you need to be. Do the pillar dance, baby. Whoop.
Oh my gosh, it's finally near a pillar. Okay, I can get in there.
This guy's mean. Bonk. Spawns more enemies.
Just in case.
Alright. Line up.
Oh god! Not there.
Over here. Line up.
Do we have to put our fingers over our lips and be quiet?
Formation centipede!
And I'll form the head!
I'll form the... Oh no, I'm in the middle.
What the hell, we'll stand here and pretend like I can get close to anything that does any kind of damage for a while. And in reality, just like follow like semi-closely behind.
Yeah, it'll get better as we get more health points and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, the priest health pool is pretty small to start, so.
Yeah.
I find reality is a poor substitute for video games.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wish that reality was more gamified all the time. Like, there was that guy who was talking about in TED Talks, I can't remember his name, is it like Schultz or something? He's talking about the gamifying of, like, the gameopolis, where in the future everything's going to be gamified, and I'm like, that sounds great, actually. I want my app to reward me for brushing my teeth.
So there is a theory called the Great Filter, where it's like, how come we have not seen other intelligence out here in the universe? So there are things like nuclear war might kill civilization, or pollutants, or maybe they send so much stuff up into space that they don't get to actually leave out into space. One of the filters is, as a civilization is able to simulate reality, the simulation becomes more and more desirable, and it becomes more desirable than reality itself. So eventually a civilization might just completely go into VR and not expand anymore, because why would you?
Terabytes. You need more hard drives. Like,
we will solve that. I super duper believe that we will solve that in ways that we don't understand right now.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fair. You never know what the future will show you or do.
Yeah, well, if we showed somebody a cell phone from like 100 years ago, they just assume it was witchcraft.
Right. It's kind of weird, right? Because like a lot of things would have to change. Like I think what was it? We'd have to essentially figure out a way to put a human being on a hard drive and call them a human being, right? So that like, because like yeah, that's part and parcel of the whole VR experience. But like, that would be so that you can get more people on the same technology, right? Like you no longer have to have physical people, and then you could potentially get better and better at recycling the hard drives and the technology you already have. But there's like a weird like geometric increase, right? Like that's that Asimov short story about the global AC or whatever, the giant computer. It's all like, how can you reverse, the course of entropy? And then it spends an eternity thinking about it. And because it's like the weird thing. Oh
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and like the weird thing, like the story itself is kind of like a background to this idea that eventually there'll be so many people in the universe that you're talking about how many suns you're exhausting every month in order to keep civilization running. And that's when you get to this problem where you're like, well, maybe we have too many people.
That should be the next expansion for Factorio, right? Or Satisfactory.
Right, yeah. You gotta move on to another planet, consume that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Eventually just Tyson spheres all around, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can automate the vehicles in that game, right, to repeat patterns. Well, who's to say you shouldn't be able to automate your entire gameplay to say, okay, well, that's how many planets you can take over in X hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the whole game just becomes one gigantic clicker game.
I mean, that's what that paperclip cookie clicker game was, basically, wasn't it? Like, convert all of reality into paperclips.
Yeah, Ultimate Paperclip. That was, it definitely is.
That was a good one.
Spoiler alert for Ultimate Paperclip. If you haven't played it this point, just don't bother. It's fine. You missed it. Wait for the next big thing.
I read the book that guy must have gotten inspiration from.
Gravity's Rainbow?
No. All I can remember is that... Actually, that's on my read list. All I can remember is that it had an owl on the front. Oh, Damnation! What was it called? I'll have to look it up. But it was like the dangers of AI, and one of the dangers is that we think of AI as like the Matrix or something from the Terminator, but it might not have any kind of values that are meaningful to humans. So, for instance, it was like, well, this AI really cares about paperclips, so it's going to think about reality in ways that we cannot understand because we're not paperclip-centric beings.
Oh, right, yeah. Like, it's the dangers of an algorithm run amok, right? Mm-hmm. Right, it's like saying, maximize human happiness. Alright, cool. Everybody lives in a jar.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, minimize human death.
Plug wires directly into your brain, and now you're super happy, as defined by that. Oh, fuck! Not again.
Alright, oh, back up.
You got it, like, okay, hang on.
Wait, bleh.
Someone
4 onks,
So, the deal with this puzzle is only one person can play at a time.
Yeah.
So, cool. I'll start. Ouch.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
I love how the bombs fall in different places. Like they're just randomized on the bridge.
Right.
Alright, bottom right, top left. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Hot diggity daffodil. I like the Ranger ending in it.
Cool. Yeah, I thought the Ranger was alright, although I was a little annoyed by the 8-directional shooting, and then, like, even if you turn off the 8-directional, it's not super, I don't know. It's got some interesting abilities later on.
Oh yeah, I think I left 8 directional on. I should try turning it off, see what happens. For instance, I might be able to hit those guys. Yeah. I like just kind of running up and whoop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
Alright, I remember this fight.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm not prepared for this. Alright. Back it up. Oh, we lost the Randall.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Well, there goes our healer.
Slowly work way down the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I didn't lose an Ankh there.
We tohu now, boys.
Right?
Ding, 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 ding. I like the music. Damn it.
No. Oh, whew.
Once again, the lesson goes unlearned.
Yep.
Yeah. Said we don't need a priest.
Whew. Yeah, I would recommend we get back to town at some point.
We can't heal in town, can we?
No, but I can purchase a healing ability in town. Well, on the subject of 4th edition, I wanted to state that I think one of the biggest problems with 4th edition was that they didn't do a great job of telling players how it be. Like, for instance, like a lot of the major complaints I've heard about it were largely due to like people not knowing where to find the thing in the book. And like combat is super long. I completely agree, but I think that like if they had done a better job of explaining ways to resolve combat-like encounters without actually having monsters in it, like, or, you know, going to the grid, I think that would have been a lot better of a sale.
Let's back off from the skeleton army. Why don't we just backtrack to town?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
At least until our healbot gets back.
Yeah, okay. To town.
Says the guy with full HP.
It's because I care. About my onks. I don't want you using up my onks.
Right. Have we found a teleporter on this floor?
Yes, I believe we have.
Sure. What do they look like on the map?
Good question.
Careful not to step into bees while you're running around.
Oh shit!
For sure.
Yeah, I had the mini map.
But yes, on the subject of 4E, 5E, cycling back to my own experience with 5th edition, I've been enjoying it.
Cool.
As far as running it, the longest campaign I've ever ran was with the Curse of Strahd module, which I would argue is the best module they have.
Love me some Strahd.
On print to date.
Oh yeah, no, everyone I've heard who ran through that thing loved it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ran a group through that, and it is my favorite module.
Rad.
Didn't you say your group completely min-maxed that?
Yes.
That module.
Yep, for sure. My group completely min-maxed that module.
All right.
But yeah, I'm not running for that group anymore.
Sword arc damage. All right. I think I've been blooped. Apparently, Randall has lost the internet. Is what he texted me.
Oof.
So yeah, that's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
We'll see him next week. I somehow managed to maximize my friends list in Steam. So every time I alt tab, I just see a gigantic. Yeah, it's in it. So every time I do like shift tab, like it's just a one gigantic friend screen. All right.
It's nice to be loved.
I know, right?
Let's see.
Maybe I can buy like mono regen here. Yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna hold the button down so you can see how long it'll take you to heal. Almost there. Okay. Give me a sec. Stop holding it down. Yeah, no, like fourth edition. What a great system, but yeah, I'm sure we just lost like 2 listeners out of the 5 for that statement.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Warcraft.
I'm pretty sure like hating on 4A has fallen out of favor now.
Oh my god. I think it's only fallen out of favor as much as like talking about Gamergate has fallen out of favor. It lies in wait. Like,
come on, guys! 4th edition wasn't that bad.
You can't kill the meme. You can only seal it away.
Yeah, you're just mad because of some of the sacred cows are taken out to pasture.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's also like all of the things said about 4E. It's really hard to know what percentage was actually a genuine comment by someone who played the game and someone who just looked at the book and said, "Oh, fighters have spells now." Ruh.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Say what you want between the 2 editions, but god damn it, if 5e isn't like super fucking popular right now.
Oh god, yeah, and the craziest thing is that I blame Twitch. It's nothing to do with 5e. It's just Twitch happened.
Social. Would you say like social media plays a big part in its current popularity?
Oh, absolutely, and a little group called Critical Role, right?
Yep.
Yeah. For sure.
How do you guys want to handle this one? If only Twitch had come out during 4E.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think that the world in general would have been able to digest 4E? Like people who didn't usually play D&D?
At the time, probably not. I think 5e just came out at the perfect time. It was just the perfect storm. It just everything just came together for it. Lightning in a bottle right there.
Yep.
Because this is as popular and as mainstream as D&D has ever been.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even in its heyday?
Yeah.
Like the second edition?
Go God, yeah. Hand over fist, Wizards is making bank on 5e.
Oh,
that's unfortunate. I mean,
it's certainly something.
Well, I wish it was 4E that I was making money on.
Agreed, yeah.
I mean, I know that I'll never see another official 4E module, but I'm bitter that it happened for 5E instead of 4E.
Well, the great thing about 4E modules, right, is all you have to do is just take any module from any RPG ever, and then just replace all the monsters, and you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh god, I loved how they had encounter design for 5e. Like, here's the math. It just made my life so much easier.
You're talking about 4e?
Yeah. Did I say 5e?
Yeah, you did, which is...
That's disgusting. I'm gonna cut out my tongue right now.
Right, you should, because CR is a joke.
Yeah. It totally is. The craziest thing about it, right, is that, like 4E, the way they handle combat and combat design, right, is that the D&D has never, ever been hard at a CR level that was appropriate for the party, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, 4E was all like, this is a normal encounter's worth of experience, and this is a hard amount of experience, which is, like, double the amount of experience, right? But, like, ultimately, that's a way better way of, like, figuring out how hard of an encounter to make compared to, like, 5th, which is just like, I guess I put in 11 CR for my level 7 party? Question mark?
All right. You're right. I say that CR is a joke. It largely is, but it is like some kind of baseline. I've been in too many games where the DM kind of threw caution to the wind and pit us up against like some bullshit CR monsters that are way above our level.
Yeah.
And it's a gross misunderstanding of balance that is not encouraged by the base design of the system.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like the thing that I think changed the big difference with 4th, right, isn't just that you count by experience and instead of like CR, but the fact that monsters also have level. right? So
yes. Yeah. Monsters in 4E are hard coded to be appropriate for this and this level.
Yeah. And
hard coded.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And if you use, like, say, a level 9 monster against a level 7 group, that monster is going to be just genuinely harder than any other combination of experience points you could put together.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Except for the situation where you take an appropriate amount of experience and divide it amongst 20 monsters, then you can have some real problems. That's just a different scenario altogether.
I loved how 4E did not make me look through the player's handbook in order to understand what was going on the monsters. Like, the monster blocks were all there, and they had their special monster powers, and I didn't have to look up, like, in different, like, spell sections to figure out what these guys could do during combat. I freaking loved it. I also thought that it did a good job of having monster groups feel like families.
Yes.
So, like, the goblins would all kind of have their shtick, right?
Yeah, distinct monster roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. As far as encounter design is concerned, 4E was really good at having monsters play off each other.
Oh, absolutely.
With the different roles.
Yeah, well, because, like, the combat system was basically just its own game, and it acknowledges the fact that that's always been true of D&D.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't role play in 4E.
That's a lie. That's such a goddamn lie. I have never understood that argument. I'm just convinced it's like some weird meme that nobody actually believes, and they just say it to piss people off.
Oh, no.
I can't believe that people actually
believe no. I knew that one of those guys. I was friends with a guy who made that argument that because they took profession out of the game and replaced it with a skill called profession that doesn't exist in the skills book. It exists in the DMG, right? It doesn't exist in the player's handbook, like my correction. So, like, yeah, he was just like, he needs skills to roleplay, otherwise he can't. And so I'm like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. It's like
I didn't know roleplay is baked into fucking hard mechanics.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry,
I'm playing D&D wrong. I'm sorry. Sorry, Trent.
Yeah, well, it's a weird talk, right? Because it's in one way it is completely valid, right? It's just another conversation on the Magic Circle and what you need to enter it, right? So, like, some people need a lot of help. They need a lot of ritual to get into the Magic Circle, and some people can just freely fly into it and then make up stories without any dice or books at all, and I am envious of people like that. Because I need some mechanic stuff, but I am disappointed that, like, someone can be so locked into the concept of what 3rd edition is that they can't view any other version of D&D as being role-playing. It's so weird. That said, I am going to make a real hot take that I'm sure is an unpopular puffin thing here, but, like, that no edition after the first has done anything to advance RP and D&D.
Yeah.
And so, like, the concept of Dungeons & Dragons, it was the innovation.
All right. Well, all right. I will kind of counter that a bit with as far as, like, how module and adventure design has evolved.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, like that's a great system for RP from the DM side, right? Like all the innovations have definitely been DM oriented, I think.
Yes. There's no been mechanical innovation as far as encouraging roleplay. I guess 5e attempted to do it with inspiration, but that's so it's so baked into the preference of the DM that it's really hard to say whether or not, okay, if you do this, you get inspiration, versus like in 4E where you got like action points for pushing yourselves,
right,
and not resting.
Is inspiration the DM gives you advantage on a roll or something?
Inspiration essentially gives you you can spend it wherever, and it gives you advantage on a given roll.
So I have. I've read all the 5e books, but I've only played a couple sessions of 5e afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It did remind me a lot of 3, but I just wasn't. I didn't come away with the feeling that 5e was really its own beast. Like you could definitely tell that. Boy howdy, 4e was a new game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I think that I guess they were too scared? Question mark. Yoink. To really pull out the stops with another edition. Well, I mean, I wonder how it would have fared if they had decided, okay, we're going to make a new rule set. I mean, they can't get away from Roll20, though. God, I wish they would. But then, would it be D&D anymore if you didn't roll a 20-sided dice to beat a statistic? Who knows? I'm kind of over that, and I think that it was more palatable with the things that 4E put into it.
Yeah, like it definitely gave you a lot more, like, I don't know, I didn't really think before I spoke, so I'm not very coherent. They did a lot of work. They wanted to focus on things like, you can't just get one shot by things anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a story, right? But like that's not necessarily fun without, like, that should be an optional thing. That should be something the DM has to insert into the game rather than the game being like natively including one-shot kills. Watch out for that boulder. Watch out for that
boulder. That was the one that killed us last time, right? This was the one that destroyed 5 of our onks or whatever.
Correct. Yes.
Yep. And I didn't notice that guard who was sleeping in front of the stone just gets squished by it.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta go upgrade my damage.
Okay. On the subject of, are you referring to like save or dies?
Well, like save or dies, and also just like in 3rd edition, a CR appropriate treant can crit, and suddenly you go from full to completely dead. Right, and that's like pretty much true for a lot of the level brackets in 3rd and the earlier editions. And so like they did things like they did the negative bloodied death cap, so that you have to at least lose half of your hit points in negative before you just die.
Okay, yes, it is harder to die in 5th edition.
Yeah, and that's something that carried over from 4th, right?
Yes. Here's the thing: the major difference between death, dying, and like battlefield sustain between 5th and 4th edition is that 4th edition healing was meant to keep you into the fight as long as possible. It was built on sustain.
Yeah.
5e is the opposite. You're not built. The healing is not meant to sustain you in combat.
Right.
It's meant to get you to recover after combat?
No. Some of it is like prayer of healing. Yes. However, like a healing word is the optimal healing spell, and it does like I think it's like a D4 of healing plus relevant mod. So it's not much, but it brings you back from 0. But the thing is, you're as effective at full HP as you are at 1 HP. So, I introduce to you the yo-yo.
Oh, yeah.
The healing yo-yo. This has been in so many games I've played where essentially you're constantly knocked down and brought right back up to like 1 or 2 HP.
Oh, and then die immediately again. Right?
And then get right back down to the ground.
Right, yeah.
That is the design that's been, I don't know if it was intentional, but that is a design that's been kind of encouraged by for how 4E has approached healing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
5e has approached healing, yes.
Yeah, and it's actually, that's in 3rd. That started in 3rd edition.
Yeah, it came back in full front, but the thing is, like, that kind of shit will only happen if your DM throws stupid crap at you, and you play unintelligently.
Right, yeah. It's like, so for instance, the concept that needs to be say it's the intelligence check, right? The player intelligence check, which is you throw something that the players should not be able to handle at the party to see whether or not they will act accordingly. And so you're like, you're 2nd level, here's a purple worm. Purple worm will kill you, right? And so like the problem though exists when the DM doesn't actually gore shadow the monster. And so like the players can't make a choice that is relevant to their party because they don't know all the facts, right? You're like, that one skeleton wiped the entire party. Oh yeah, it was an 18 CR monster. Well, what? It was a skeleton, right? Not a dragon.
Right.
Also, I think we just lost somebody.
Oh, I got murdered.
That
I'm not
sucks.
sure what happened. I'm not sure what. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I'm pretty sure it was my fault.
It was Randall's fault.
And no death in this game is the game's fault. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I've mentioned it last time, but it's not having any flex on the spikes. As soon as you enter the hitbox of the spikes, you die. Feels unfair, but because like players need the mechanics of the game to cheat in their favor before it starts feeling fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this game just doesn't do that, and it's like now it feels cruel, which is weird and interesting.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, I don't know. I've had too many DMs that did not know how to balance encounters, so the yo-yo was just prevalent.
Right,
yeah. Don't stand in front of the little mirror. I'm gonna trigger.
Right, yeah. This will set people on fire. Yeah. There it goes. Singe my butt hairs. This conversation is making me want to design encounters again.
Yeah, yes.
I have always been the forever DM, but I absolutely love it, so I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, you could always like make some encounters and go to Reddit or something and farm that sweet credit. Karma. I don't know.
We should do like a 5v1 shot one of these days.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
I'll play it, but I won't design a 5e.
That is completely fine. I'm certainly more. I'd be willing to run. I have more experience. Well, no, I take that back. I have somewhat equal experience as far as running and playing.
That's cool. I've DM'd a lot more than I've played, and unfortunately, like I like playing the game, but yeah, I like to bring the game when it works. But
yeah, for sure. Because Curse of Straw has an opener. It's called Death House. The name is appropriate.
Is it a House of Death?
Yes, it's a House of Death.
Nice.
Does the House of Death take a random element barrier occasionally and then heal itself up when you use anything else? Because that house, I hate that house.
That I don't immediately know offhand. Are you familiar with the Curse of Straw Death House?
No, I'm not. I'm just making a joke about the Hell House from the Final Fantasy.
Oh, god damn it! That's fucking Hell House.
Spoiler. I'm never gonna play that game.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, that's fair. Spoiler for the thing that was in the base game that returns in the remake. Spoiler: the game is based on an older game.
Wow. That's weird. It popped up in my brain.
Yes,
I saw it in Final Fantasy VII. I've never seen it in the remake because I've never played it. But I went from not having any idea what the hell you were talking about to being sad for Trent's corpse.
I didn't want to say anything because you're talking, but I was like, no one crossed this. It's just for that orange. All right. Cool.
I vote that in this game we are allowed to interrupt each other by just screaming.
No, stop. Yeah, that's fair.
This is not the time for polite conversation. No.
Okay.
We have honks at stake, damn it! Oh, god damn it, I hate this part.
I remember this part. I hated it.
Yeah, me too!
Oh, God!
Oh, yeah. Did you not run as soon as the thing let you?
Well, the problem with the running as soon as the thing lets you is that fucking that fireball.
Yep.
Oh, God!
Dodge and weave.
My heart. Oh, serpentine! Oh, fuck. Why do I keep playing this game? I have promised multiple times not to return to this game, and yet here I am.
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
It's terrible.
Alright, well, we already know how this one goes. You
gotta
gotta do it.
Yep, let me do it.
Yep. Let the Wookiee win. Nope!
No.
Did he make it?
Yeah, I'm
God!
Oh,
26, 11, fuck! Alright, he's fine.
So,
Never mind.
What about that not do... Let me do this, don't come down here thing?
Son of an unks!
Oh, well, no. Oh, I had a potion. I could use the potion. Yeah. Getting out of that spot is really hard.
Oh, for sure. Oh, hey, Joe.
Okay.
You're gonna have to go all the way around. It's gonna be safer, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
All
oh
right.
boy, delicious steak. Could use that.
Yeah, could have used that.
All right. Monk, looking at the thing.
It's over here. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
No problem.
Hey, you did it.
I did it. 1 up, baby.
I triggered the rolling boulder that killed me last time.
It's got your name on it.
Yeah. So, I sometime a while back made a vow to never play D&D again, but I would totally break that for you guys. I'll play other games and other RPs, but not.
I mean that's fine. There's plenty of other games. Gamma World, Deadlands. Oop, that's a laser.
No. I mean, I would totally do that for you guys. It's just my thing is just like I'm kind of tired of like getting into groups with people who play D&D one way and then have never conceptualized it being a different thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I swear to God, I played caricatures my entire D&D career or whatever life, and then I actually tried to play the game seriously, and then everybody just backlashed or something like that. Like 2 people wanted to actually play a serious game, but we didn't talk about that. Have that session 0 conversation, right?
Right.
So, yeah, but
oh my God. Oh God. Oh God.
I'll tell you now though, if I ever ran the game again, I would do my concept campaign where we play the Forgotten Realms, but a parody of the Forgotten Realms where everybody is a desk clerk. And so like everybody's on vacation. It's just like you don't get to play cleric, you get to play a clerk. You don't get to play a fighter, you get to play a bouncer, right? And no, you're not allowed to get into fights. So, like, the idea of that would be, like, you go on vacation, you have 1,000 gold, the game ends when you're out of money. Make sure to take lots of cool photographs and get souvenirs.
We're Pokemon Snap, boys.
Right. I don't know, I've always been tickled by that as an idea. Heal. Whew.
No problem.
Statues never stop being scary for melee. I'm just gonna take this mana. Let's see, time.
Time's going fast on this one.
Yeah. So, non-spoiler thing I noticed in Final Fantasy VII Remake is that if you play the game on hard, you can get more opportunities to increase your character's abilities, right? As you level up, you gain AP that you can use to upgrade your weapons, right? Well,
right.
The final upgrade level of upgrades, whatever you get, like as you hit certain milestones, you get like another ability, another skill tree, sort of skill shrub that you can upgrade.
Right.
So the last one upgrades at level 50 if you don't have any of the extra AP stuff. So the game's just like, hey, now that you've maxed out, have one last upgrade thing. I'm pretty sure that you'll never be able to max it all out, which is good. To its own.
Right. Yeah. My only concern with that is whether or not it carries over. Otherwise, all that extra effort's pointless.
Oh my gosh. I think that they're going to do some sort of like Metroidvania thing where like oops, you fell on a sewer grate and dropped all your shit down the drain.
See, that's what I'm afraid of, is that it'll just wipe away the progress, the mechanical progress you made.
Yeah, I mean, either that or, the game's not going to stop at level 99. You're going to go up to level 999 by the end of the thing.
Oh, I mean, maybe. Who fucking even knows? But the fact of the matter is that I don't like the prospect of, like, oh yeah, you can do all this, you can do a new game plus, you can, like, grind this out, and it won't matter in the sequel.
Yeah, that would be really frustrating, right? It's a really weird problem that they've set for themselves at this point.
Yes,
How did Mass Effect do that? I never played the games, but I know they're all connected.
You do get to see, you get to keep your story choices, and your mechanical stuff basically doesn't matter. So like you keep the same class through each of your runs, right? But like you get stuff that invalidates your previous items, and you get like new abilities and whatnot. At least that's what I remember.
I think the level or whatever is roughly the same, but the game like has gone over so many mechanical changes over the course of it. It wasn't really that big of an issue.
Yeah.
But also in like Mass Effect, you didn't like grind out like fucking mechanical benefits or levels.
Right. Yeah, which is like very a Final Fantasy thing, is to get all the optional stuff so you can do all the big hard things.
Right, and it's also like items and stuff, weapons and gear and unlocks. It's just if they take that away for the follow-up game, it's like, well, then what was even the point?
Right. I think it's weird, right? Because it kind of can't take that stuff away from you, which kind of gives them a big problem that they're going to need to solve somehow, right?
Right. Either you take it away for balance sake, or you don't, and you have to wonder like, okay, well, how do we balance this around people who grinded this out and those who didn't?
Yuffie shows up like a whole disc early, steals your materia, and you don't get it back until it's high.
Well, now.
I think that they may actually solve it by taking some of this, let you have your things, but then kind of do what Pokemon does, which is like lock your best equipment behind a wall that you have to level up for or something. Like, so for instance, if you replay Pokemon, you know, many of those games, if you have like a level 70 Charizard, you just don't get to use the Charizard until you have enough badges. And so, like, I think that they may do something similar, where like some of your items or your abilities are locked and you'll have to purchase them back or something.
I'm about to spend a silver key on a treasure room.
That's great.
There are gold bugs here.
Yeah. I will say, however, that's completely speculative. Like, I have no idea what they're going to do. And I could speculate on some more, but then we start actually getting the spoiler territory. That said, also, we've finally gotten out the first episode of that podcast I mentioned the last time we were playing Overwatch, so that's on the stream. Stream? The channel? Whatever. You can see that on my YouTube channel now. See it with your ears.
It lives on the internet somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Forever and ever, or until the DMCA.
Yeah. There's a murder ball in the next room, by the way.
Woo!
No, my mana! Give me back my mana! Should have healed first. Fuck it.
And now we play the waiting game. Whoop! Alright.
I'm not gonna sit here for 5 minutes.
I think that the Ranger has a base movement speed that's faster than the other guys.
Oh, I totally think so, yeah.
At least it's faster than Paladin.
Oh, watch out, laser incoming.
Whoa!
You touched the mirror, you touched it.
Did somebody already trigger this this boulder that's up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you still see it?
No.
Okay.
No, I saw the groove and started having flashbacks.
Oh, yeah. It's funny, like, I used to play in a TF2 server called Nom Nom Nom, yeah, which you did too, Joel, right? A little bit.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
Through that which shall not be named.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so when you said Nam flashbacks, I thought of Nom flashbacks.
I remember enjoying Pokemon Nom very much. Nom 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 nom. It taught me what mods could do for a game.
Oh yeah.
There's like trains and stuff. I think we're in a Pac-Man level at the point. It's good times.
Oh yeah, like all those different custom maps and stuff like that. Yeah, those are neat.
That was when I was still a filthy console peasant, and I didn't understand the joys of modding.
Oh yeah.
But the TF2 thin end of the wedge that got me into PC gaming.
Oh yeah. Well, like the Orange Box was a pretty magical time for PC gaming.
Yep, something for everything. Oh, he shoots bees. That's disgusting. Just heal right through it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that mummy. It's like I can't get anywhere near it without taking damage. Every time I think this game isn't generous to the player, sometimes it spawns a mana crystal when you kill a guy. You know, for 15 mana.
It does that
push. Woo! Whoa. Alright.
Fire blindly, that always works.
So, I finished Chapter 6 in Hard on Final Fantasy Remake, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
You don't sound especially happy with the accomplishment.
I honestly don't know why I'm still playing, but part of the reason I keep telling myself that I'm still playing it is that occasionally I'll just be like, well, you know, I've got like 15 minutes before I'm gonna watch something on the PS4 or whatever, and so like I'll just do the little thing, and then also there's some content that I still haven't really seen yet, so I'm like, gotta squeeze that lemon.
Your eyes. Oh, there's a warp back there. Do we have to do this grid?
Yes, unfortunately. I mean, it's, you know, checkerboard. It's whatever.
How many onks have we lost? Oh, incoming enemies. Yep. Hope you weren't bored.
Move!
Oh, balls!
Whoa! I just saw that laser shoot right past me. How do I get to the other side of the laser now?
Oh!
Alright, just take damage. Cool, I can do that.
Oh, balls. Oh, woo! Haha! Once again, I failed to learn my lesson.
Oh yeah, when we're playing Deep Rock, I've taken to saying like, not today, leech, when killing a cave leech.
I think cave leeches are probably one of the most fun portions of the game. Like, just to have everybody paying attention to one thing all at once.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
And it's like, it's feels very time sensitive. Unlike a boss, of course everybody's like paying attention to a giant boss, but when it's a cave leech, everybody feels very time pressured.
Oh right, yeah. It's like being smoked or whatever in Left 4 Dead.
Smoker.
Yeah. So those guys are pretty sweet. I mean, like the whole concept of Left 4 Dead was an interesting idea. I mean, I played lots of that, right? It's nice to see like little elements of that. I think that the best part about the cave leech in Deep Rock is the fact that it doesn't matter if it shows up in the mission or not. It's just always on your mind. Oh hey buddy, you want some heals?
I'm about to press the button. I don't know what it does. Ooh.
You guys didn't hit your sword on the small indentation that looked like a damaged wall section? For shame.
Minicoin! We got a couple of apples up here. Oh, you know what? I'll take that. Or maybe I shouldn't have because we've got a healer.
Whatever.
Will we ever return to this area? Who knows?
You're assuming that we should save these resources because this is going to be our last run through the game. It's all ephemeral in the end, really. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
oh, that's why they put this ice patch here. Okay.
Oh yeah, just to mess with you, just for doing that one thing. Oh god, stupid monodrine. All right.
Am I coming? Yeah. Yeah! Oh no! Oh, that was wonderful timing. Oh, sadness. Should go back and eat those apples.
Oh my god, that coin next to the spike. Gotta cook them all.
Alright, I'm gonna hit the switch. What happens before I'm ready to go?
So, tying this back into our D&D conversation, I feel like this game, this game shows so much rather than tells. It doesn't tell you it's being cruel, it just shows you being cruel. Like, look at that coin, that spike, that kills you instantly. It's like having a first edition DM in the game. This is what it was like, children.
Back in my day, we could get killed by a badger before we left town.
Oh, God.
And we were grateful for what we had, damn it.
Hey, I rolled 7 wizards before I found one that wasn't killed by a cat in a back alley.
It built character.
It's the real reason why in first edition D&D, or even earlier, the characters are basically paper thin. Because, like, character building is literally just, I wrote wizard on a sheet. And I did that 7 times because I'm going to lose 5 of them this session.
What would a role-playing game written by Jonah look like?
Oh man, well I already started trying. It's
all right, let's try. What would it ideally look like?
So the things I've wanted in some of the previous D&D games I've played is that I've wanted like, oh shit, I think I might actually die here. Oh, maybe I'll just eat this potion. So I kind of want like characters, like I like perk systems, I like perk trees and all that, and feats and whatnot. Those are fun, but like, whoa, I want to have like when you level up, you get stuff that's for combat and you get stuff that's not for combat. Mm-hmm. Like having a delineation of like, this is stuff you must have to get past all of the conflict that we're gonna have in our game, and then this is stuff that is here to be the role player helper, and we're never gonna punish you for having, you know, we're never for picking one for the other because you can't spend a combat thing on a non-combat thing, and so like, for me, like the holy trinity of like D&D style RP is kind of like combat and then skill encounters and then like narrative RP encounters. And so having those be their own separate things that each character class gets something into. Like, say, for instance, you know, as a fighter, you get, you know, at 2nd level, you'll gain a new attack. You'll gain, you know, some combat-related feat. You'll gain the ability to intimidate people or to leadership them, you know? So you can either take something like Persuade or Intimidate. And then like a non-combat skill-based thing of like, maybe if you're a swashbuckler, you can like grab on the chandeliers now or something, you know, some sort of not that specific, but something similar to it. Like, this is a paragraph that just says this is a generic ability that lets you do swashbuckly things, but you know, give it a little bit more structure because RP is based off of what you can't do more than it is what you can do. So yeah, mostly something like that anyway.
What about you, Trenton? Is there something that you have always wanted to kind of see or have, or some kind of system that you'd like in a role-playing game?
In a role-playing game, I've only played so many, so it's hard to say what like appeals to me or what works for me. I do like a blend of the different pillars of play. I do like combat. But it has to be a particular kind of combat. I've been spoiled by you.
Thank you.
So like thoughtful, well-designed combat is a must. Oh my god, I'm buying. All right, I'm gonna just chill back here for a second.
Okay.
Oh, indeed. Also, being able to just bounce off the other players is a must.
Oh yeah. I've seen some indie systems do some really cool things, like okay, this actually isn't a systems thing, but like a player suggests, the DM once did a thing where you had to write down a bunch of stuff about your character and then hand them off as cards to other people in the party before you even start playing. And some of those things are true and some of them are not.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, so one more other thing is that Monster Hearts has a really great system for that. Where
I know of it, but I haven't played the game at all.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Monster Hearts is like not for everyone because a lot of people are gonna have a hard time role-playing relationships with other players, and that's pretty much what Monster Hearts is all about. But it at least has this neat thing where like you have to develop social links with people in your party in a mechanical way. So without going into too much detail.
I would like to try and figure out a better system that is not roll to beat number and then have it either pass or fail. I would like to have something where like if it's like based upon a certain number of successes and there's a gradient of failure and success. But I wonder how you would do that elegantly.
Some good examples I've seen are there's an RPG called Nighthawks, where you play as the ladies who the Russian female aerial squadron during World War II that dropped like wrenches and nuts and bolts on the Nazis. And
what?
Yeah, no, this is a real thing that happened. They were actually so feared, so it's kind of a double-edged sword thing. It's weird because the Russians were like, no, we're not going to give the women battalion squadron anything useful to use, and so they just threw whatever they could on the enemy. But they did this with such effectiveness that the Nazis actually started calling them the Night Witchen, like the Night Walked.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was like something like Knocked Hexen is the Night Witches, and so like,
holy shit.
Yeah, no, they're seriously badass. But they have a system in that game where you roll for, trying to do a thing, right? You got to get a certain number or not. But when you fail, you can just choose to succeed, but at a cost, which is an interesting idea of, like, failure. You can push through it, but it means that your character is going to... Something bad happens, right? And then, alternatively...
Is this like we leave it up to the DM type of thing?
I haven't played too much of it, so like I can't tell you specifically how it works out in practice. But like I remember there being a thing where like sometimes there's a whole part of the system talking about how to resolve that. Like you might say, for instance, succeed despite the fact that your character dies, right? Like if you choose to push yourself in that way, you made that choice, and you're going to have to live with it, whatever happens. Alternatively to that, there's the Burning Wheel does a thing where like they only really want you to roll for anything once. So if you fail on a roll, then you fail, and there's no comeback from that. So you have to figure out what do you do now that you failed. And so that's like an interesting way of handling it compared to the D&D way, which is there are 14 floors of the Wizard's Tower. I want you to roll stealth and move silently for each floor. Oh, you failed one? You failed one of the 24 checks or 26 checks I just asked you to make? Oh, well, I guess the wizard finds out about you then. And so that's...
Yeah, so Burning Wheel tries to do it more of like a summarized thing.
Yeah, it tries to force the DM and the players to acknowledge that failure is a thing that can happen in a story. And then you have to roleplay out of it now. So, or at least around it.
Was Burning Wheel the system where if you rolled out a skill and you failed at it, then you would get a notch, and then after so many failure notches, you would rank up in it? Does that sound familiar at all?
That sounds familiar. I don't remember. I can't remember if I was doing that with my prototype RPG, or if I was doing that because I stole it from the Burning Wheel. Before we cross this floor, which you have to cross on the spike side, it's after 9. So maybe you want to save it here.
Yep, I think this is a good place to call it then.
Cool. Well, it's been fun playing.
Yeah. Does it auto-save when you quit, or what?
I believe it does. Why don't we head back to town or something, just to lock it in. Or hit that save mark on the ground. How about that? Yeah. I bet you... It doesn't save when you hit this little save icon, then I don't know what happens. Okay, it did say save game. Okay, it saves.